Another live art show by Donald Kent. Welcome to Donald Kent Art. And today I'm trying something a little different. I have a link out to some friends to join me in the chat. I don't know quite how that's going to go. It's the first time I've done this. But hey, live and learn, as they say. So let me get one or two little things organized here. You can look at a new page that I'll be inking today. Oh, a little bit tired today, actually. Um, but never too tired for my art. So, we have a new character that is emerging out of. I guess I'll go back a little bit. If I can find the page. um, Here it is. All right, we're almost there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the art out for this. But anyway, there's this stone that these people are praying to in this cathedral. And this is all like the swamp and the deep state. And there's something in the stone that comes out, and it is actually this. It's not actually this guy, but you'll see that. I can't give away the story, but there's a shape shifting going on uh, in this world of evil critters, the deep state, and all that. Hey, my channel has joined us. Good to see you, my bro. I think I've got another done here. The author was very, and I am too. I love it. I think it's pretty badass. So this stone, as you can see, it's fallen down. He knocked it down, and then it kind of opens up, and this being emerges. And so this next page that I'm inking now, wow, very nice. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Is there going to be snacks? The question of the day: is there going to be snacks? Damn, if I could, I would, my man. What kind of snacks would you prefer in the Donald Kent comic book inking hour? That is a good question. Oh, Boise. So, yeah, this is pretty sick. I'm pretty happy with this. Anyway, so we're moving on today. We got this page, this following page here. It basically reveals that um, this guy right here, he starts to transform into a reptilian. So there's something going on. Yeah, oh baby, yeah. So, and then a little later, if you're nice to me, ooh, rice pudding. I'm totally down for some rice pudding. I've got some sick comic book magazines to share and talk through. People on the last show were really into Conan, and they wanted to see more Conan. So, and this one is colored, which I think is pretty cool. And we can kind of do a little trip down Conan Lane. Um, this is, I believe, older than that. Um, and there's a bit of Richard Corbin in here. These magazines are normally black and white, like so. That's Carmine Infantino. He used to be the editor of DC Comics, and he's also an artist. It's a really neat style. But anyway, there's a little bit of there's some serious nudity in here though. I don't know. I've got the channel set for not for kids, but I don't really know how far I can go with that one. Anyway, we'll see. But yeah, so yeah, I love the older stuff. I guess it's time to begin. How you doing, channel? What's shaking in your world? You got some cool stuff going on. Don't have. I look at your posts. I don't have time to respond to every single thing. There's a lot of great content that you share. I think I'll maybe turn this music down a hair so I don't feel like I'm yelling. Anyway, um, yeah, just a lot of the stuff going on in the world. One feels like doesn't matter if there's going to be like a cataclysm. All our hopes and all the stress that we feel about XYZ. And then, there could be a solar flare. Not could be, but there will be. Um, and a lot of other things going on. And it really, really changes the context of just about everything. Whatever, if we win anything in, say the next couple in this year, because this is a turning point year, then will it matter if, you know, Earth goes back, 1,000 years in terms of like no technology and all the insanity that will come with a gigantic solar flare. Of course, you know a lot about many, many more things related to catastrophe. And it's funny because I'm like, okay, on this show, I'm going to be real positive. And then look at me already. I start talking about shit like this. But of course, that's something you and I have our discussions on. So, kind of having a private chat here. It was really nice in the last show. Because like I said, I really just, I've got work to do, and I just figure why not live stream it. And but the responses that I'm getting, I mean, I'm getting donations and um, just people feeling like, what, it's nice to have something where somebody's not trying to sell you something, and you're not. It's just genuine. It's just all genuine hanging out talk, not news talk or whatever. We talk about the news, but it's obviously more like friend time, I guess. Friend time. Welcome to Donald Kent Friend Time. Aw, that's sweet. We're all friends. Like FREN. That's actually something I could do. I love all these like sort of specialized Pepe channels now and specialized Apu channels on Twitter. I don't know if you guys are like, you see the things I'm talking about. There's a new one right now. Well, it's new to me, and it's what is it called? I just followed it. Something like oh frick, what is it called? It's essentially this dude makes these little animations where you see, I guess I'm going to say Apu, in these kind of mystery scenarios where you don't know what's going to happen, and then you kind of stay and see what happens. So it's fun. Come for the outrage porn and stay for the Apu animations. But yeah, I really feel like outrage porn is beginning to see that it's actually having like a almost a toll on my health, I would say. And I'm not even like that attached to it anymore. I don't even really. I'm not. I feel like that the tide has turned, and there's already enough of our people out there fighting that shit posting war. So like I've let go of the steering wheel, let these guys take over the next generation, if you will. Um, but it's just, and I don't know if I'm going to fall. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off, but I can at least say that I would like to try to be more positive in terms of the content that I create. Um, I don't know that you can be entirely, with like the way things are and stuff. Um, I think you know what I mean. Like it's, but at the same token, there's a certain, oh gee, like you kind of have to do it in a sense. Yeah, you just can't get like overwhelmed. It's like a thing. Um, so I finally have a few things going on that are not things I can talk about, but that are very productive and positive in terms of like making some change in the world and all that good stuff. So I'm excited about that. That's got me in a better mood. I guess that was the thing of it, is that I felt I was, feeling for quite a while that like, is this it? Is it just shit posting and like bitching about, you know, blah 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 blah, everything that's going on in the fucking world? Is that it? Are we gonna just? Because I always hear talk, and I'm like, granted, I know you can't just stroll into the White House and say, okay, you cut that out. I recognize the situation, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating. So anyway, we got our. I always like to start with the panel outlines, and anytime I kind of fudge up a little bit or whatever with the ink, just know that these things go through Photoshop in the end, and I clean things up in Photoshop. So let's take a quick peek at Mr. Channel. You got a lot of stuff going on here. Yeah, the 4 kids is a very narrow type to comply with the federal law. Otherwise, it's just what it is. So, yeah, well, I don't make content for kids anyway. Exo turns off the chat live stream. No kidding. Wow, yeah. North America will work out pretty good, except for no electricity and flooding. Not at the same time. All those underground bases come in handy, or free energy disclosure, so we can prep. Yeah, I'm really, really curious how the whole alien free energy thing is going to play out in the coming year. That's pretty serious. FEMA is now training their staff for civil war, for mass, we call it essentially like an electromagnetic EMP attack. I mean, FEMA's training their staff for this. What does that fucking tell you? You see what I'm saying? Um, yeah, I noticed it. Yeah, I always get lurkers that don't say anything in the chat; they just watch. It's like, so I'm like, okay, I just want to welcome my FBI agents and tell them, hope they're doing well, wherever you may be. Um, hopefully, this show will be entertaining for you. Must be boring sitting around watching me, listening to me, and waiting for me to say something incriminating. Or, I mean, you could just fake it and just like lie and say, "Oh, he said this and he said that." Anyway, I would love it if the lurkers said hi, though. That would be nice. Maybe all those underground. Blah, blah, blah. There's 2 more lurkers here. Yeah, I have their rice pudding. Ooh, hey man, if they don't claim it, it's yours. Okay, lurkers. So, like I said a while ago, I was getting a lot of kids on the show, like in the chat, not on the show, and I didn't, I'm doing the show, so I'm not like all I see is like a name and someone will say, "Hi, I like your art," or something, and I'll be like, "Hey, thanks. Well, welcome." Da, 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 da. And then a day later or whatever, I'll be like, "Oh, who is this?" And I'll go check out their YouTube. Oh, Jesus Christ, the little kids. So I'm just trying to make, whatever a statement like, you know, go play Roblox or something. This isn't for you. You know, you know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Yeah. It's, yeah. So whatever. Um. So what else can I say? Yeah. Mm. So one of the issues with this character, it's going to be, I don't know quite how we're going to resolve it, but the character has massive tattoos all over his body that are ridiculously detailed and like completely impractical for a comic book character, like madly, insanely impractical. If I were to try to like millions of zillions of teeny little complex lines, for one, I'd be here forever. But then secondly, it's just gonna look like a bunch of shit. It's not gonna come across. So I don't really not quite sure how that's gonna play out. We're hoping that our colorist can like graft them onto the character. I don't know that he's capable of doing that. Probably. I mean, I could sort of figure out how to do that in Photoshop. He's competent. He's very good. So presumably he'll know how to do it. Um, I hope so, because like it's not going to work uh, as far as like the art is concerned. Oh, like tattoos, I think are pretty significant part of characters like this. He's like sort of like a Asatru Odinist type warrior type character, and I think that's pretty well understood. The use of the tattoos in that culture, etc. I might have to change the music. I don't really like this singing. All right. Yeah, yeah. Shut up. Let's see if we can get something else shaking here. Come on. All right. Well, a little better. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if there's an EMP attack and there's no electricity, and you know, how many weeks could you survive? You know, I think about where I live. There's a lot of snow and cold, and preparing for that would be insane. Um, Something kind of interesting. The local Native Americans, there's like if you drive around their property, their nation, you'll see like almost everybody has some kind of a nice garden, and they even grow their own tobacco and stuff. Um, and it's just understood that like say like during the depression and stuff, there was no depression for them. They made their own food and they just remained, you know, independence in that regard. So like a buddy of mine was saying like we're gonna have to go back to the old ways, and I just don't like this music. I'm sorry. Give me a minute. Is that Western Kind? Hey, hails so hard, my main man. I like the good energy, but I'm not like a big fan of the singing stuff so much. How you doing, Western Kind? Good to have you here. I got well, about 2 pages to ink, so this is looking like a fairly longish show. Um, so I'm heading out to work this morning, and like the plow came last night, and you know how they go down the street, and then they'll like shove all the snow on the end of your driveway, even though I my driveway was plowed and I could have gotten out, but there was a kind of a hump of snow, and I'm like, ah, shit, you know, I got to get to work, I'll just, like power through it, like that. Well. Something about this pile of snow was not having it. So Daddy got stuck in the snow there. I ended up having to shovel my way out of it. Fortunately, the people I work with are cool enough. They get it, whatever. Um, but fortunately, my son is home, and I had him like get behind the wheel and do the reverse thing while I pushed. And if you live or grew up around snow, then there's this old trick where you put some cardboard under the wheels to catch, to give the wheels something to grab onto. So, you know, but it took about a half hour though to get out of this shit. So I don't know why it took so damn long. It was really just really jammed up in there. We had to like shovel under the car. What boring thing to talk about on my show. I should be talking about revolution or something. Come on, we got to give those FBI lurkers something to write about. Um, yeah, just more and more shit from the government about here's our new list of catchwords used by domestic terrorists. And they're and like the things like Cabela's or like I recently shopped at Dick's Sporting Goods, and so now I'm on a list. Well, it's been watching a lot of videos from Canadians about the situation up there. It's fucking dystopian. Germany and France are having like insanely huge. Their farmers are doing all kinds of like sort of civil disobedience events. Yeah, I don't know. Like they've got their tractors and they're shutting down highways and da 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 that kind of thing. And I guess in Germany they managed to get the government to bow, to like do whatever it was that they wanted. It's something to do with um what was it? They've got these bullshit global warming policies, and they're basically fucking up the farmers with this, like not paying them and something. I don't know the real details, but I know enough to get it, kind of thing. Um, it's just great to see that they're having some success. That's my point mainly. Um, yeah, I guess I feel like a lot of it kind of boils down to like compliance. Like if we can, if well, it may be that we have to rebel to the point where we shut down society, to some extent where they can't win. So there's this interview with Harari, that the gay Jew who calls us hackable animals and useless eaters. Um, the one with the weird shaped head. Um, and I'm sure this is some form of, they don't show the weakness or their plans, or I mean they do actually say their plans, but what I'm trying to say is that he was in an interview recently where he said that Trump is likely to win, and that would be the death knell for globalism. Pretty freaking, like, I was like, what am I, I couldn't believe my ears to hear him say that. Um and then, like, he goes on with this bullshit discussion where it's like, it's not like people have to choose between globalism, like, yeah, like patriotism and like this one world government or something, like, and the way that he said it was like as if it was some bullshit conspiracy theory, like, ooh, one world government, like, you know what I mean, like, mockingly. And I feel like people like that they're in a bubble of sorts, the majority of people, I think, maybe I'm in a bubble, but they seem to fucking know, they seem to know. And I've seen, like, liberals uh, like posts of mine, and I'm like, holy shit, you actually know about this, like, you're actually on board here. Well, um, so something new about this show, I just figured out how to share an invite link to invite friends. Last show I had last night, my buddy CG wanted to come on, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And I just happened to see the little button that does that. So hopefully he'll pop on. I also shared it with some members of the White Art Collective. Um, and we'll see. I don't know. It was just an impromptu thing. I should send the invite link to my FBI lurkers. Like, hey, let's get to know each other. So what got you into this field? Well, I'm naturally sociopathic and I like to oppress people. Okay, wonderful. So tell me more. Well, I can't. Oh, okay. It's a secret. All right, I'll stop. The times we're living in are so awesome, my dude. Holy shit, I just wrote that. It's going to be a big hit. I had a buddy over the other night. Oh God, I want to steal his guitar. He's got such a good guitar. Oops. And it's just really, really good to finally jam again with a friend and do some music. It's been a while since I've, like, played with other people music. So that was a good time. I really wish I was like a really good soloist, like a guitar soloist. I'm getting better, actually. But I feel like I need to kind of sit down and do some YouTube lessons, like something of that nature. Hmm. Okay, is this working out? It's kind of, sort of. All right. Oops. I'm gonna center that for you. Um, what else can I tell you? So yeah, winter is depressing, dude. I mean, it just is. Like, you can work out, you can have friends, you can do shows, you can la la la. But like for me, it just it beats me down. I'm sorry. I got to be honest. I think for me now, a lot of it has to do with um, like Christmas was horrible. You know, still grieving my mom's passing, and I didn't have any family other than my son to really celebrate with. So it was awful. It was really really awful, and I'm kind of sort of still that lingers with you. That kind of stuff lingers with you. You don't forget when people stab you in the back like that, and make you suffer alone. It's cruel. It's very very cruel. I always grew up like I had a fantastic family situation. My parents, I mean, you couldn't ask for better parents. I love them dearly, and I don't have parents anymore. You know, but I am a father, and that's my new thing. You know, um, all right, we gotta get some different tools going on here. But here's the thing: like I've been sort of looking at videos and the like about forgiveness and how important forgiveness is for one's spiritual path, and that you can't really evolve until you do that. And so the ego and the trauma and all that shit, it doesn't want to let go. And it's righteous in, of course, the sense of like, yeah, these fucking people, you know, wronged you, and badly. But I think like, this whole it would be I'd be insulting myself to say that I have like victim mentality, and anyone who ever would talk to me like that, I would like to punch their fucking lights out, because it's like when someone does the things, when or has been through what I've been through, you know, it's inhuman. Um, However, this is the kind of the point I'm trying to get to, though, is that no, yeah, you have to let go, otherwise you kind of are creating a victim mentality, I suppose. Um, unknowingly. Um, and to me, that's for pussies. Like I wouldn't want to I don't want to have a victim mentality. I'm not trying to do that or whatever. Um, so what do you do? How does one let go? I mean, to me, that's one of the weirder concepts. Is like, oh, just let go. It's not a physical object. It's like a mind object. You know what I mean? It's an emotional object, and it's embedded in you. It's deeply, deeply embedded into you. How can you? I mean, what is the method of letting go? Right. So there's ways, but I feel like it's not going to all happen in one shot. Like you're gonna have to kind of go over this shit habitually to, in a sense, create a new mindset. Um, and then, like I said, like holidays come and then that knocks me down again. Like I'm not sitting around every day thinking about this stuff. But Christmas comes and then nobody calls and nobody invites me anywhere, and I'm alone with my son, and I'm thinking, how is this affecting my son? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's not right. There's supposed to be a family to look after you, take care of you, love you, you know. And I've only ever had like really, really, really good relationships with people in my family. And they didn't all abandon me. I still have good relations with some. Um I was allowed to see my brother for the first time uh in 2 years after my mom passed. I'm not allowed to see him because I'm not vaccinated. Neither is my son. So like this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. It's fucking evil. But like they don't think they're evil. They think I'm the crazy one, you know. So it's pretty fucked up. It's pretty hard, you know. And you're like, look, I'll show you all the data. Nope, nope. You know, nope, 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 nope. I'm not gonna listen because then I have to admit I'm wrong. You know what I mean? So here I am. I'm going back down the anger lane again. Here, you know, I'm doing the opposite of sort of what I'm trying to do. You know, it's just to forgive. Um, it's not going to be easy, but I think in the end, it's like there's just it's just it's required. You know, it's necessary um, for my soul. You know, for my own peace. And I mean, I could look at this like a Buddhist. I could look at it like a Christian. I could talk, you know, blah 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 blah. You know, be nice, be lovey dovey. You know, peace and forgiveness. You know, all that kind of stuff. Which I respect that. I mean, obviously, I get it or whatever. But all I'm just saying is like spirituality is not fucking easy. You know, it's they make it look all like all you got to do is get the beads and the crystals and like grow your hair real long and have like dreadlocks and you know go to like a drum circle once in a while, you know. um anyway, but the real reality is you're you're gonna die, and you can't take anything with you. And when your soul is out of here, if you're burdened with all of these angers and you know whatever pain and memories and grudges and on and on and on, you know, how is that how is that good for the transmigration of your soul? It's not. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want that. I want to die in peace when I die, you know, which is not anytime soon. But you hear what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm not suicidal. I don't need to say that. I'm not like that bad. I'm not that radical that I need to say such things like that. Holy cow, we got some new people here. Corey, hey Corey S, welcome. Hey Donald, hey all. Western Kind is saying, oh, hey, hello, welcome aboard. United, hey brother. Well, it's very nice to have you here, Corey. I am going to give you guys a little. Since Corey just jumped on board, I'm going to kind of do a little preview of the comic. We're back out of touch. This is a recent page. Maybe not that far out, I guess. But this our main character here knocked over this huge rock in the. It's essentially like the bad guy's lair, you know, and they sort of worship this rock in this kind of cathedral setting. And our superhero knocked it over, which is total sacrilege. Here you got the classic Iron Man pose. Just wanted to slip that in. Got to slip that in. It's obligatory. And now they're like, get him, you know, that kind of deal. So he's here. He has no idea what this rock is. You know, I think it's like, the heck are these goofballs doing? But then it starts glowing with all these runes, and it cracks open, and and inside is the sleeping character here. Comes out, and he thinks this is Thor, the god Thor, and he's like, "Oh my god, awesome! You know, we're gonna beat up the bad guys, and you know, happy ever after, and this is so awesome." And so, at this point in the story, we're doing kind of a little flashback, I guess, of like Thor stuff. His name's not Thor in the comic book, but I'm just tossing it out there. And here you see he's like chopping up, you know, all these bad guys, something. He's turns out he's like he's in a black metal band. Do you guys know what black metal is? It's not Snoop Doggy Dogg is not in the band. It's not that kind of metal. And then there's scenes of them fighting these bad guys, whatever. So they just to establish that they know each other. However, in the next page, something very sinister happens. There is a terrible twist where the this sort of Thor type character demonstrates that he is a reptilian or reptiloid, as they're called in this story. Here's an example of what a reptiloid would look like. Um, so yeah, a whole lot of action going on, folks. Whole lot of action, and I was asked. Was it last night? It was on my last show to take a break once in a while and show some comics. Love black metal. Cool. Very good. Very good. All right. We are in good company. You guys know who Tyler Hamilton is? He's an influencer, vlogger, does a philosophy show. Um, him and Josh Neal did. He's just been around. Like if you're in this scene, then you kind of should know him. Like whatever. He's also a buddy of mine. But anyway, funny story. He used to be a manager for a black metal band, and they even toured like Europe and shit. And like he's got some interesting stories. If you to see him, like he's a philosophy major. I think he's actually a professor now at some university. The dude is like insanely smart, like insanely smart. If you're on a show with him, you had better drink a pot of coffee just to try to keep up, you know. And a wonderful human being, of course, you know. I don't quite know what he's been doing lately. Anyway, where am I going with this? So yeah, just that's kind of a sort of a neat thing that his background is in that. Anyway, moving along. So I am going to move on to the next panel here, and I'm going to get right into some brush work. Some of my brushes are drying out, so I have to kind of hunt around. Is there anything? Oh yeah, Josh. Yeah, don't know Hamilton, deaf know Josh Neal. So I've been. Oh, what is it? Today is the 19th. Okay, on the 28th, I'm interviewing Josh Neal. It's going to be a pre-recorded interview because I'm setting up a new show with Nullis. It's a kind of a white art collective show. Only I'm calling it White Art Community as a sort of like White Art Collective 2.0 thing, and trying to get things going again. And the idea is that it would be an entertainment show. Like, I mean, it's obviously politics or whatever, but a bit more like a variety show that's enjoyable. Uh, Look at some new music, look at some new art, check out people, creators in the scene, feature them, promote them, but also do fun things like clip of the week. It's going to have a theme. Every show will be based on a theme, and that theme will correspond with my Tuesday themed art show. But also, at least once a month, we'll correspond it with Jayla Dark's monthly White Art Challenge group, and so uh, it's just kind of cross promote these things. You get the idea. So it's pretty cool stuff. I gotta get on it though. Like I've been just I don't know, man. Too much life going on. I'm trying to buy a car, and I got and then this damn snowstorm hit, and this and that, and the next thing, and the next thing, and that. Like, it'd be nice if I could just do one thing at a time instead of like have all these things happening simultaneously. I need a secretary, guys. I need a secretary. Anyway, but I think that'll be cool once we get that off the road. Off the road. So is that what I mean to say? Anyway, let's read some comments here. Corey says, you know my buddy Ronnie Cameron, formerly uh, Propagander TV. I. It's been quite a while since I've interacted with Propagander TV. He said he was in a black metal band where the guys wanted to do the Antichrist Ian thing. He said, let's do anti-Muslim or anti-J lyrics. Yeah, yeah. So do you release graphic novels? Huh. All right, here we go. I'll start off by saying like single dad, full-time job. So I I do what I can with the time that I have. Uh, bef- this this comic here is a paid freelance gig. I didn't write it. I'll show you some art from the pages. I've already got about several issues in the kind of in the can. They're all like colored and lettered, but then the funding ran out for, geez, I don't know, like a year or something, and then we just picked it back up again. The funding is back, so I'm back on the project, and I'll give you a quick look at some other pages from this, so you can see. Give me a sec here. So my own graphic novel, I would really, really love to put out. Um, it's just going to take time. Like I said, it's quite a job, to do that. Like in the comic book industry, you've got teams of people that do it, and like one single comic book is like $10,000 to produce. I don't know if you know that. So here are the pages from the first half of the graphic novel. I'm gonna kind of just go through, give you a little taste of some of it here without kind of giving away too much, but give you some flavor. A little bit of excitement and action, you know. A lot of cool characters in it, many different subplots, different things that happen. Um, it's really the kind of thing that I honestly would make like a great Netflix series. I'd say that this is so like I don't know that I would compare this to The Boys. It's like radically different, but it's maybe as complex or as good as The Boys. I think that speaking for myself, um, like there's a lot of very degenerate shit in the series The Boys that I hate. Like I just despise all the sexual shit in there. It's disgusting and offensive to me. So like I'm not sort of a fan of that, but um on the other hand, I love Homelander. Like the Homelander meme is a big deal for me. Like I really like that. So, what's up, Western Kind? You gotta go. I guess he's gone. Hypocritic. Oh, Vida Pura. I don't know what does that mean. Anyway, I don't speak Spanish. I do speak some Mandarin. If you'd like to hear some Chinese, though. Um, I used to speak a bit of Japanese, but I've lost all that. So I'm just cooking right through these pages here. It's a very badass story. It's like just lots of fun. And the thing of it is that it's loaded, loaded with oh boy, messaging. Messaging that is like our people will completely get it, like all kinds of Easter eggs and the like. Let's see. Western Kind says, "I was just saying, let's go." Oh, cool. Nice, nice. Das ist gut, ja. So, ikimashou ka? That's Japanese for let's go, but it doesn't sound anywhere as cool. In Chinese, it's "zoba, zoba." So "zo" just means go, and "ba" is sort of like an exclamation point. "Zoba." But like it's a very, very common, normal thing that you would hear, as is "ikimashou." Um, just not as badass. Oh boy, oh boy. So when you have these like really, really cool, badass pagan characters, you wanna really, really make them fun. So now I would like to learn French. Um, is- will that ever happen? I sure hope so, but I don't know that it will. I don't know. Tell you a little secret. I don't know if I guess I can tell this secret. Um, oh God, when was this? This is a couple years ago when I was really, really cooking with American Zarathustra, my previous brand. Um, I I don't you guys could say better than me, but like I essentially kind of became like a kind of a second or third tier celeb, I guess, in the white identity scene. And it's you guys know me. I'm not like, you know, about celebrity or any of that kind of shit. But um you do get to be known. And anyway, the secret or the story, and I guess I won't go too far into it, but there was a girl online who was a fan and liked me a lot. But she lived in France, and so our little romance could not culminate because of the distance. But and I can't torture myself with one of these sort of like, long term, not long term, long distance thingies that is just like over the phone or what have you. Anyway, what else have we got here? Western Kind. Oh, let's read a little bit here. Check this out. Uh, Richtig. I guess that's probably German. I know how to say hello. I am Bryce. Okay. Um, in Chinese. Oh, okay. Mandarin. Good. Uh, 你好, 我是 Bryce. That would be how you would say it. I studied Mandarin for half a year. Oh, no kidding. Oh, and we could talk. But the brain prioritized other things, a task to be resumed later. Let's see. Then he's saying, here is how to sound French. Slack your jaw and go, "Ew." I know. That's kind of I know there's something a little, uh, what's the word? What do we want to say? Like, there's a lot of slushy, sloshy sounds in French that the English ear doesn't really pick up on so well, and or sometimes might be a little. I don't know, gross to the ear or something like that. But for me, the French thing is that I'm part French, and I've always wanted to kind of just as a heritage thing. You know what I mean? I would say a lot of it too was because in art school I kind of bought into the sort of, I don't know what sort of the mythology of like the French artist thing. That's like when you're in art school or whatever, and you want to be Gauguin or one of these guys. Plus, I think French girls are pretty cute. It's a thing. Turns out my son speaks French, or well, doesn't speak it, but he got like 100 in that class. So, and I think Montreal is just too cold. I wouldn't be able to do Montreal. Um, but I feel like there's a lot of places in France that are just total no-go zones. You know what I mean, right? And in the end, it's like there's with the fucking wars coming and all the shit coming to an end. Like, what am I going to be doing in France? Like I need to like get settled down here. Châtelet. Oh my God, we're talking about French and who's what? Who shows up? But my best friend from France, Flash. Awesome, dude. Can you teach us some French like on the fly right now? So we are just talking about how I wanted to learn it. I need a different tool here. Um, let's get into this. So I was watching some like YouTube videos teaching French. It's YouTube. Like fuck college, just go to YouTube. And just like the alphabet and some basic grammar stuff. And I thought, yeah, I can do this. Like if I can learn Mandarin, I can do French. You know what I'm saying? It's just really a time investment issue. You know what I'm saying? Um, uh, Ooh la la, oui, oui. Mon French is very good. I can speak the French very well. At least I can do the accent a little, oui, little bit. Eh? Perhaps not. Omelette du fromage, dude. You know that? Who is that? Steve Martin. You're doing Steve Martin right now, aren't you? Omelette du fromage. So I'll do the Steve Martin skit. He goes like, so I went to France, and let me tell you something. It's like the French have a different word for everything. Oh no, he starts off because like, okay, let me tell you something. Chapeau means hat, and was it like fromage means egg. It's like those French have a different word for everything. Anyway, the way he does it is a lot funnier than how I'm doing it. But yeah, man, I'll go there. And if I'm in France and I just say omelette du fromage, will people get it, or they'll be like, deport that guy? Let's see. I think it's from a cartoon. Oh, really? I would recommend a spiral notebook and to take notes if you are studying a language through videos. Yeah, there's a whole thing about how to study and the whatnots. Um, so this sort of Viking character is very very badass. A lot of lopping of heads. Anyway, let's see. I think it's from. Oh, I heard it from a cartoon named Dexter, but apparently they took it from a '70s sketch. Yeah, that was. It's a Steve Martin sketch. You can look it up. It's really funny. When he does it, not when I do it. Would not like to live in Montreal because they want me to be without defensive equipment and easy victim. Yeah, man, Canada is so fucked up, man. I feel terrible about it. The language is not phonetic. I'm going back into the chat here. I think I missed something. I studied Mandarin. Okay, so slack your jaw, phonetic. That is to say that the pronunciation is not based on spelling. With Espanol, if you can read it, then you can pronounce it if you know the pronunciation. Actually, yeah, Spanish is probably the easiest. Oh, maybe, I mean, Italian, I think, is probably similar in that it sounds like what it's spelled like. That I think is one of the hardest things about French is that there's like 100 letters, but you don't really sound them out somehow. I mean, that's always confused me and annoyed me a little as well. I shouldn't say it annoyed me, but like it's one of those things that makes you go like, ah, shit. How am I going to wrap my head around this? But I'll do fine. I'll do okay. Don't worry. Um, yeah, I have this vision that like in a couple years, kind of once my son gets pretty stable with his job and da da da, that actually Nullis and I are going to go tour Europe and we're going to visit all our good friends in the White Art Collective. And I know like Nullis is very, very, I don't know what the word to call this, but like he's very proud of his culture in Hungary. So like I know that it would pretty much culminate there. I don't know if I'd want to go to Ireland and Scotland, England, France. I mean, I've got a bunch of friends in Denmark actually, which I would totally love to go. Germany and then Hungary. Um, yeah, I'm talking like, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll kind of see. But it would be nice if it did. Um, Got to go to Ireland to join Jack White's new band, and I'm going to be this bass player in his band. It's like Irish blues rock black metal with some banjo. Um, so what else? I would hate to teach French. It's full of irregular exceptions. Yeah, English is the same, and I taught English for 7 years actually, as a second language too. Like not in a high school, but in to foreigners. Oh, I heard it from a cartoon. I read that Hungarian is one of those languages which I could never imagine myself being uh, asked to study. The process by which it came into being was not done with convenience in mind. Yeah, weirdly, I had a best friend in high school who I continued my friendship with in college, and we ended up being like, you know, we shared an apartment together. Anyway, he was like a linguistic genius, and he speaks like 5 languages. History major guy, and he taught himself Hungarian, and then he moved to Hungary, which is wild. Um, brought back his Hungarian girlfriend, and it was neat. It was a neat, interesting experience. I would say that I learned something about Hungary, from that. Uh, Like, I guess it's I don't know how to put this, but like maybe it has something to do with like post World War II, but like Eastern Europe, it doesn't. It's been. How do I put this? Like, I can't connect with it as well as Western Europe. Um, it's sort of like we were cut off from it so much, and then it was really, really demonized a lot by like communist whatever. Um, yeah, it's kind of awful if you think about it, but I've known a lot of Poles. Uh, I mean, I shouldn't say Poles; they're like American Polish. But here's a little. I don't know how much I should talk about myself because I don't really want to leave a trail of like, look this up or that or whatever. But like, um, there was a time when I lived in a Polish immigrant neighborhood, and that was kind of a neat experience. I admire the Poles a lot for their putting their people first. And I know that like the liberals got some kind of upper hand in Poland recently, which is really a serious problem because they're like, oh yeah, let's start bringing in the Africans. Like, the fucking evil, just pure shit. But we'll see how it pans out. Um, okay, what do we got here? Bothered. Okay. I could not be bothered to study it. English colloquialism. Oh, I never heard about that. I never don't know that one. But as for Mandarin, I don't know if anyone wants me to talk about Mandarin, but I studied Japanese for 2 years, 1 year in college, and then the next year in Japan. And the pronunciation's very simple, very easy, but the grammar fucking sucks. The grammar is just like I don't know. I found it hard. Um, and so like when I started studying Chinese, and I like the grammar was just so much easier. It was kind of that propelled me into it. I was like, oh great, this is so much easier than Japanese. So like mentally, I was like, oh, this is easy. When it's not really easy. It's Chinese, but um, at least you can kind of get away with a lot. Of course the Chinese have their own grammar. It's not English grammar, but you could use English grammar and a Chinese person would be like, "Yeah, I get your point. I get your point." You know what I mean? And so for like a traveler like I was, that's helpful. You know what I'm saying? Ah, so this guy. No ne. Oh, here's a weird story. When I was traveling in Thailand, um, we were in a bar and there was this like American guy kind of having like a lover's spat with his Taiwanese, not Taiwanese, Thai girlfriend there, and everyone in the bar. It was a small bar. They were kind. It was like a little tense, like where's this going, kind of thing. And so my friend and I just were speaking in Chinese with each other, like, okay, let's assess the situation. Like, should we leave now? Like, this looks, blah 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 blah, whatever, whatever. But it was just kind of neat. I thought that we could just speak in Chinese, about the situation and like, what, you know, like, oh, this guy's a real asshole, da, 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 whatever, whatever. Kind of funny. Um, Techno Haika. Yeah, a little techno action going on here tonight. Oh, body's a little sore from pushing the car and all this other shit. And then I worked out after that. Well, not right after that, but like I earlier in the show I was talking about how my car got stuck in the snow and I had to shovel myself out. But just basically taught me like, oh, you need to work more on your back muscles. You don't usually think it like that. You're like, okay, whatever these muscle groups, but make sure your back gets attention as well. I think especially with me, like I sit a lot due to my freelance, and it's just not good. Oops, there goes the cap. And oh well. So if I only had prehensile feet, I could pick that cap right up. I evolved out of that, I guess. So I might change the music in a minute to get this shit fucking worked out. There we go. Yeah, right about there. Okay. Get the John Sicars playlist. No. you fucking you if there's like a Rick roll for John Sicar, you Rick rolled me with that. I tell you, that is some massively cringe liberal media. um Not something I want to remember, so just put it that way. um, a flash, I did put a link in our group, and you could actually be on the show if you want to, like, come on this show now and chat. you know just tossing it out there. um Anyway, um yeah, I don't know if Mandarin is an English or interesting thing to here's a neat story, though. There is when I lived in Taiwan, I met this historian. He was from Australia, and he was like a very, very what's the kind of word you would call this guy? Like a guy who. Mm, so I'll just give you an example of like what kind of guy he is. He, instead of like getting a hotel, he got a tent and would just go up in the mountains and like pitch his tent. And like one night there was like I mean, you get fucking typhoons and shit over there. And there was a landslide, and his tent and him were caught in the landslide. Jesus Christ. It's just like, oh, jeez, like this shit, this guy, it's just like, it's just a real hard, like one of those down under guys that are like just real hard person, hard, that type, whatever that's called. I don't know. But anyway, so I don't really recall how I met him, but so he's traveling around Taiwan for a research for a book, and told me about it and this and that and the other thing, and I ended up buying the book. And so here's the story. There's a Scottish dentist who was one of the first white men to Taiwan. Oh, I can't tell you the year. I'm sorry. I mean, I could dig the book up, But anyway, it's freaking insane, like wild, wild story about this Scottish guy that he was what do you call it, a missionary, and so like something about missionaries in those days, like they just did the craziest shit. They would travel around the world and you know interact with these indigenous cultures and try to like convert them to Christianity. And you can only imagine, like, a lot of these cultures were not having it. They weren't jiving with it or whatever. So it wasn't in Japan has like some this horror stories about how they tortured these people and stuff. What's his face, Martin Scorsese made a film about it. Anyway, so the book is quite amazing. He lived in, well, he's kind of all, he was around the island in different places at different times. But there's a story about how he, I don't know, just the fact, and he had red hair on top of it too. So like, people were, they thought it was like a demon, and like there was a panic in the village, and they like chased him out because they were gonna kill him, thinking he was like a red haired demon or something. And he like just narrowly escaped with his life. Um, but yet, kept on the mission. We're gonna convert these Taiwanese people. So, among other things, he moved up into the mountains where the indigenous tribes are. So, the history of Taiwan's about 700 years ago. China um, colonized it. It used to be there were, there's like indigenous peoples that lived there before the Chinese came, and they still live there. And these people, I guess, are ethnically related to Filipinos. Um, anyway, Taiwan used to be known as Formosa, which is a Portuguese word for like beautiful island or something like this. And among sailors back in, like, whatever, the 16th, 17th century, it was a very, very terrible. How do I say? Like, Tales of Formosa was like a very, very awful thing because the people would sort of sail too close to it, and then they don't know about the rocks under the water, and the ships would sink, and then the men would swim to shore, but only to be met by headhunters. And so these indigenous peoples were headhunters. Yeah. So pretty awful. And I've been to like museums where I could learn about these cultures, and they of course have photographs of that kind of shit. It's really nasty shit. Um, to be a man, you had to, bring home the head of. Normally, it was someone from the next neighboring tribe, and they would pour wine down the mouth of the head and drink it through the hole in the neck. That's the kind of shit that they did. So anyway, I know that was a little harsh, but like, yeah, that's, so it just look back and you think about like our people were just traveling into regions like this and trying to like convert them to Christians. It's crazy. It's like insane stuff to think about. Anyway, so this guy, since he was a dentist, he was able to help the indigenous people in this mountain region. That's another thing too, is that the indigenous people were kind of pushed out, and they all moved into the mountains because the Chinese essentially came to create farming colonies. And there was a lot of fighting with the Chinese, a lot of killing, and it just it's just how it's the way history went, is that they kind of got pushed out. So they moved into the mountains, and so our Scottish dentist missionary, moves into the mountains, and he finds the natives there uh, very agreeable, and somehow or other, whatever, he joins their culture, learns their languages, gets married, and starts his missionary thing, and it's pretty crazy. You gotta figure, like, it's belief that drives people, like beliefs. They belief, in a sense, creates reality. And what do you believe? Like, what do you genuinely, truly, deeply believe? That's the reality that you're gonna create. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be alive when this happens, but I do believe we will win. That I believe there's gonna be a lot of hardship, but I'm totally, like, 100% completely sure that we're gonna win. I can't say that I know the exact form and formula and all of those things. Um, but what I'm trying to do is, or what I have tried to do with my channel, is to create a vision for that future through the arts, through the conversations we have. And that's essentially the Imperium Art Show. So, a term that's kind of a clunky term, but a term that sort of makes sense, is the concept of white globalism. And I don't like to use the word globalism. That's like a dirty word. But the idea that our people combine all of our resources uh, to help ourselves and each other, in our people, in like a giant global, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like the EU. It's not nothing at all like that, but a kind of a spiritual kingdom. You know what I'm saying, in the sense that we are the creators. If, for example, whites were to go extinct, the world would be fucked forever, forever. There's nobody who is us. There's nobody that can do what we do. If you look at our accomplishments, our inventions, et cetera, it's just going to all go backwards. You know what I mean? And it'll just turn into, like, you know, gangster kingdoms fighting for power. And it's just people will be living in mud huts, and, shit's going to go backwards. You know what I'm saying? Um, but my feeling is that we can't share our resources anymore. We have to only share them among ourselves. It's not meant to be cruel, but our neighbors, if you will, our global neighbors, always use these things against us, and they, in one way or another, um so we have to keep these things to ourselves, and that way that won't happen. Yeah. Anyway, let me read some chat, see what's shaking. Damn, guys, I can't catch up with all this stuff, dudes. Can I be in your basement? Neko Arc. Well, welcome, Neko Arc. You are in my basement because my studio is in my basement. I'm working on my Napoleon video. Ooh, I cannot wait to see that finished, dude. I'm excited. Neko Arc. Neko is cat in Japanese. Weapons grade cringe. But I'm gonna get caught up here. Da da da. They may better off just learning Chinese. It means long live the emperor. What? What? Okay, I guess I can't. Banzai. Get the John Sakar. No, no John Sakar. You're not gonna trick me again. Gloria Springs memories from playing Rising Storm 1. If I could make a deal with those in control of China to have an artificial island made with advocates of white well-being could live and manage their own affairs, then I'd be willing. I that is like highly reasonable. I totally dig that. It's a nice fantasy, but I will not hold my breath and call President Xi. Is there Hermosa is a word for beautiful in Espanol? Ah, there you go. Okay. Yeah. Well, Spanish and Portuguese is like the French version of Spanish. I feel, Portuguese is like an expanded dialectic. To do, da, da, da. It is about recapturing minds. Yes. Collective Western kind is one people of many nations. Perfectly said. I had a chat with a based Korean where he asked me if there was famine, then would you feed your children or mine first? Oh God. I said mine. I misunderstood. I totally misunderstood that. Of course, yeah. He agreed that he would do the same. Yeah, that's of course. Like there was an interview. I don't know when it was filmed, but I just saw it on Twitter like last night, and I don't know what kind of show it is, but you could tell it's pretty much like a normie lady, and she had Jared Taylor on, and she was like, oh, we're going there. We're going with the challenging topics. And her whole thing was she was trying to just find out what is white. It's such a stupid fucking. Only an asshole would ask that question. You know what I'm saying? And so she goes through the usual bullshit. Jared Taylor destroys her. You know, and he's saying like all this discussion about what is white? How do you define it? Blah 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 blah. And then he's like, you know what? If in the same breath someone said, okay, we want to make like an African club or something at the university, nobody for a second would question what is black? Oh, what is African? Like it's only whites that pull this bullshit. Um, so it's I don't know if you know where my Twitter is, but like you can find it there, I guess. It's great to see Jared Taylor out there cooking. Um, but that sort of brings up an even bigger. Well, I guess what I'm doing is sort of like responding to that whole like your people first. Like everybody by default takes their people first, but like I don't get like this whole like whites can't do that, and somehow that's wrong or evil. It's total gaslighting. It's like total. It's just race hustling. That's really what it is. I just posted the salaries of people that work as like diversity officers, and like they're between like 100,000 and 300,000 a year. Can you fucking believe that? That is the race hustle. I do have some. I gotta keep some secrets here. I better shut up. But those times are coming to an end. So we'll have to wait and see. Um, it might be time to change the music in a minute. Um, I don't really want to do like lo-fi that's like depressing, but I do like lo-fi. It's easy going. It's like good chill music. Hey, we got a new friend here. Oh, a couple new friends. We got T-Rad Dad. We got B, affiliated with Jason Kuna. I should have been specific. I better go back and read what the chat's going on here. Let me zoom out. You guys can see the artwork a bit more. I've been on Jason Kuna's show. Was the when he did the after party. Um, I've been on there twice, and I've had him on my channel as well. So, like, if you look around on my channel, you should be able to find it. I think it's in. There's a series on my channel called Afternoon at the Museum, and I had him and Jared on. This is just an enjoyable show looking at Western art and talking about it and stuff. Let me go back in the chat a bit here. See what I can respond to. Chat base, the Korean, yes. United, Jason Kuna. No, Bryce, Western United. Okay. She would not ask a black or a Jewish man, what is black or what is Jewish? Yeah, it's insufferable. It's just so fucking insufferable. And here's the deal about that particular lady on that show. She kept bringing up, like, several times how her Italian ancestors were treated badly when they came over, and I don't know, whatever year they came over, and Jared Taylor's like, oh yeah, the Irish were treated terribly, and the Italians were treated terribly, and these things happen. I recognize these things, but like, and she just kept using that as if because those things happened, Italians are not white, and who knows what really is white, and let's throw the whole thing in a big up in the air like it's a big question. And he's like, fuck that. This is, you're. He didn't want to say it because he's a nice guy, but like, she's got this kind of weird axe to grind, as I'm inking an axe, about that, which is like, lady, you got to get over. I mean, I'm sorry those things happen, but like, that was then and this is now, and it's like, the crisis that we're facing is extremely serious, and like I don't know, going down these stupid rabbit holes of history that, like, you're really just obfuscating. I can't ever say that. You're muddying the waters. You're creating a problem where there is none. I hate to say it, very feminine thing to do, but and she just sort of kept coming back to that as if like that was everything. That was the only reason. And all whites should doubt themselves now because that happened. I'm like, so like she's kind of like an intellectual midget, basically. It's essentially what. And I mean, anyone next to Jared Taylor who's like arguing against whites is an intellectual midget. They just get squashed. I love it. And somebody in the comments was saying something to the effect of like, it's too bad like he's not on Twitter and here and there and YouTube, etc. It's like everybody that debates him loses, every single fucking one. There's one with this Spanish guy, I can't remember his name. He's in Jared Taylor's house, and he's going into this like really pretty intense conversation, or he's really challenging Jared Taylor. You cannot fucking beat the master. I mean, he is the grand master. He's the father of us all. And like, this Javier something or other, Javier, I can see his ugly face, but I can't remember. And just like to see this like Mexican guy, he's like a big leftist journalist, and of course he lies and he edits out the interview, like typical scumbag piece of shit. All they have is lies. It just shows you how fucking weak they are. But anyway, it's like he's trying to hustle Jared Taylor into like, yeah, you should just let Mexicans take over the country, otherwise you're racist, and like, I mean, ah, it's just insufferable. It's totally insufferable. But there it is, and where is the interview now? Like, oh, I can't find it. Oh yeah, yeah. See, Kingdom of Lies. That, by the way, is the name of a new show by Yiz in the white positive scene. I haven't caught the show yet, but I am on her. I almost said Dungeons and Dragons. What's it called? Discord and Dragons show. So I'm going to be actually doing that every month, which is really neat. Um, so talk about content production. She's really putting it out there, which we should be doing more of, and I will be as soon as I get my dumbass off the couch. No, I'm kidding. I'm just it's coming. Things are coming. Hang tight, friends. Oh shit, man! I had a tough day today. It's kind of burned out from it. Did you ever have a tough day? Well, at least I've got my art and my friends. It's very good. Um, let's see. She would not ask about. Yeah, we have read that. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Puts out some decent ideas. Associate with all legitimate advocates of white well-being. I watch him. I didn't know if you were part of his team. Western kind is a concept he uses a lot. I believe he coined the term Western kind, actually. United Hell, yeah. Uh, the office with full staff. Oh, diversity, equity, inclusion. Otherwise, I call it DIE. Anyway, but office diversity, equity, inclusion office with full staff found inside every federal department, agency building. A real acceleration of harm massively. That's what the real domestic terrorism is, right there. Um, Killer art. Hey man, thanks, appreciate it. The tough days make the good ones all the more enjoyable. Yeah, isn't that true? That's just. I mean, you're like, well, I really wish we didn't have these tough days, but I don't know. Apparently, that's kind of how it works. You sort of earn it, I suppose. Hmm. Time here. It's like 10 o'clock. When did I start this stream? We started at like 8. So it's getting 2-hour streams are kind of not unusual for me. It's somewhat normal. Did 3 hours like last night, like a total madman. Hmm. Oh, just pardon my exhaustion, though. But yeah, that whole topic that I was kind of musing on a bit there about like vision for the future and all these things. I posted something on Twitter and I got a really profound response. Essentially, I posted a clip from my Tuesday show. Well, actually, um, Patriarch, who is also running the show with me. It's like our show. It's not my show, but we broadcast it on our channels. He's been doing these like smaller clips um of like conversations that we're having in the show, etc., and they're really nice. Anyway, I posted one and somebody said something like, make us care again, like what was the word? Something like, it wasn't entertain us, it was like something more along the lines of like stimulate us, but if you could combine stimulate and entertain, what would that word be? I don't know, something of that nature. Captivate us. And it like really moved me. I had like this big moment of like, aha, like this is like, people are desperate for white pills, like culture. We want to believe. And I was just talking about believing. You know what I'm saying? Like people want to feel that, you know, this is more than just a bunch of shit posting on Twitter, And and I'm like, well, I shared my YouTube link saying like, okay, here's a buffet of, great content to get you started. So like enjoy. Um so that's cool. But yeah, sorry, I kind of phase in and out when I'm drawing. I'm like concentrating, and then talking while doing art is like riding a tricycle, not a tricycle, a unicycle, and juggling, like that kind of thing. Yeah, it's I notice in my streams I say a lot, which I hate. I like totally fucking hate that. And there we go. But I guess part of it is that it really is just a bad habit. But the other part of it is I'm gathering my thoughts while I'm focusing on the art. You know what I mean? I hope you guys don't hate me for it. I do not. Oh, you're off and running on your conversations here. All right, let me need my ruler. All right. Techno action. Maybe we'll look at some Conan comics in a minute. You guys up for that? Take a little break from that. We do hate. Oh, we do hate you for your Oz. I gotta work on it. I gotta fix that. All right, gang. You are in for a treat. And you know what? You earned it. For tolerating all my ums and ahs, it's time for a little break. I am going to quick run back into the chat and just see. Oh, there's not too much in here. You could attempt to hack the system and make every day feel like a good one through external chemicals, but this is a tightrope to walk. I do not recommend it. Nah, I know. I think we'll really accelerate our people's moralization. Oh wait, B says art and comedy, I think, will really accelerate our people's moralization as we already have the tools to empower us. I think if we take the opportunity, we can enter the eternal summer. I love what you're saying. I love, love, love what you're saying, and I strongly, strongly agree. There's this new, well, it's new to me. There's this comedian in Canada who's basically, without using like bad words and shit, he's like almost openly racist, and he's freaking super popular. Like, I mean, not just with whites, but like Chinese and Muslims and Indians. They for some reason they love this guy. It's insane, and he'll say things to the audience like, "Hey, remember when you kicked the white people out of India? Why there were too many white people there? Remember that? Well, now you know how we feel." Like he literally said that to the Indians in the audience. It's amazing. So, comedy is one of the most powerful, powerful tools um, for social change, frankly. Um, but it's like one of the hardest things I think to do, I suppose. This I think is an exquisite piece of art right here. I love this piece. Um, I should maybe try my hand at writing some stand-up comedy and see how it goes. We've adopted habits of saying, because we fear that people will lose interest. For me, it's just me gathering my thoughts. That's all. Oh, that is amazing. Yeah, I know it's awesome sauce. All right, so let's have a look here now. This issue is edited by Roy Thomas. Artist John Buscema. Tony DeZuniga is from the Philippines. He's a Filipino inker. So, the John Buscema pencils the page. Then, you see how I'm inking my comics. That's, what an inker is. Howard Chaykin is inking on this too. He's Small Hat Tribe guy there. But I don't like Howard Chaykin's work very much. Not because he's got a nose or anything, but I just don't jive with it. I think he seems like very sort of self-taught. I'm not going to go down that road. Anyway, here is the obligatory Hyborian age map that's in the beginning of every Conan magazine. Kind of neat and fun. And then I do love Tony DeZuniga's inking. It's if you're an inker and a comics artist like myself, you you really pay attention to that, and you know the difference between one inker and another. Like you can look at the work and go like, oh yeah, that's so and so. Kind of like you could hear a guitar solo and say, oh, that's Dave Gilmour, or oh, that's Eddie Van Halen, or oh, blah blah blah, something like that. So to look at that and think about that, look at the textures in the wall here. Look at the kind of the little rendering here to demonstrate the light coming off there. This beautiful rocky uh, texture that he's getting down is just gorgeous. It's really lovely. There's even little bits of chainmail in the vest here that you'll probably be able to see better. Now, the coloring is huge in terms of bringing some value in telling the story, even. Like the blue tones are very moody. It shows it's nighttime. Color has meaning just as much as line. We get a little bit of orange light coming through as he peeks through this door. And they're torturing this guy with hot coals for some. Most men in the room are Zamorians, and between them, spread eagled, is another man, a Kazankian tribesman, his quivering breast scarred from torture. The tallest of the men snarls a question Conan cannot understand, but his answer is clearly not the right one. "Ah!" And oh, fuck this shit. So he smashes the door down. I can't. So what is and in that self same instant, Conan launches his full weight against the shutters. His action is not so impulsive as it looks, for at present he could use a friend among the hillmen of the Kazankian range, a people notoriously hostile towards all strangers. Here, perhaps, is his chance to get one. So that's like an interesting hook to the beginning of the story is that he's trying to find a tribesman to help him on a journey, and he stops the guy from getting tortured and some kind of thing. Something's going on, and then some graphic violence, and there, ooh, and then off and running. Forget it, man. Conan is kicking some serious ass. Double blades out. The tribesman narrowly escapes. And Conan saying, "Do you hear me? Get out of here fast, dogs!" They always call them dogs. That's like a thing. Don't let them escape, dogs. Now this is kind of funny how there's arrows here. You see these little arrows, like some sort of dear reader, please go from here to here and then to here. But I actually wouldn't do that. I would read here to here to here, like down and then over. So that's a little funky. But this is kind of a nice panel, nice composition. The shadows in here are working really nicely. I could go all night doing stuff like this. I don't know if you guys want that. I'm definitely gonna have to watch more of your content. I found you today going down a rabbit hole. Oh, neat. Oh, I'd love to know how you, like, what rabbit hole, like how'd you get to me, through who, you know what I'm saying? That would really be valuable for me to know. Anyway, so onward and upward, the Conan story continues, and it's just, let's see if I think I need to zoom out. Can I? I can zoom out a bit. Okay. Sorry to flash. I'm still horizontal, or not horizontal. I'm still vertical, but I guess what we'll do is just kind of go in like so. Western Kind says related videos on the side showed your streams to me initially. Yeah, did anybody see any of my shorts, my YouTube shorts? If not, after this show, I super strongly recommend that you go check out the shorts. They're very fun. They're very, very funky. You can use these wicked, uh, what do you call them? Filters. And then I put music on them that relate to the theme of the art. They're almost like tiny movies. Um, and they're just super crazy fun. So, like, I noticed that I got a lot more viewers, a lot more action, better marketing, if you will, by doing shorts. So I'm gonna have to do more. Um, anyway, this is like, ooh, there's always some nasty beheading that happens in these stories. Um, so yeah, it's just badassery. You know what I'm saying? Um, I have to say, like, what's his face? Tony Disney. He is good, but he's not the best. Like, I'm not saying he's bad, but he sometimes it's just a tiny bit sloppy sometimes, you know. But hey, he's better than me. How about that hairstyle right there? Oh yeah, ladies love that. Let's see. Western Kind says it was one of your live streams that appeared, likely because I watched so many streams. Oh, cool. What other streams do you watch? Anything similar to mine? This is a really nice panel here. I love this type of action here. And like, notice how he's like stepping outside of the panel. That's kind of a neat graphic quality. It almost leads perfectly into this next panel. And there's like no point in putting a background in there because it just distracts from this like important moment. I love John Buscema is really good at lunging, like people lunging into action. Does that quite a bit. This has like a Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of quality to it. And suddenly the mystic statue with all the jewels on it comes alive, and it throws the thief down a cliff. Ah! You know? But now Conan has to fight the golem being, and he like knocks the head off of it, but it's still alive because it's not truly alive. Ah! So that's a fun place to stop on. which is what I will do. Let's see. Let me check the chat just a touch. Mr. Kinds, it was one of your live streams that appeared for me, so likely No White Guild for Null, Mike Matei. I don't know who Mike Matei is. I know the other guys, of course. Mike Matei. It sort of sounds familiar. Anyway, gang, I had a bit of a rough day today, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. I think 115 minutes is gonna have to do. He does game streams. Oh, okay, I gotcha. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me and enjoying the show and creating fun, cool conversation. It's always a blast, and please share these videos. Get your friends on board with what I'm doing, my content, etc. More cool stuff coming, and I will wish you all a good night and God bless.